guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing fine. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. In today's video, this is the continuation of how to make our dress. So I have my dress here, I have my back. So I sewed my dart for my back, I did for the other back too. So this is for the front. So now I'm going to show you how to join your darts. I did one part, so I'm going to be showing you how to fix the other part. Then you're going to need a zip for this, so you can get a matching zip, matching thread, so which I have that. So now to join your darts, just watch this closely. So I don't know if you can see these parts that I marked out. That closer. So now to join this, you hold it from the edge, you hold it like this, then you pin it down from here. You also do the same thing at this side. You use your pin to hold it. So whilst doing that, then this part here, make sure you use your pin. You can see it's not on the same line, so I'll go over and do it again. Okay, now I can see it's on the same line. Then I'll use my pin and insert it. So now I'll go over to my machine and fix this. So now to sew this, so I'm going to be sewing in this direction. So I'm going to sew it this way. I'm going to sew it this way. Then I'll return it back to this position. So you sew it this way. So when you get to this point, very close, so once you get here, you put your needle inside. Once you're getting to this part, then you raise it up, then you continue. Okay, then you raise your needle, so you can see our darts. So this is how our dart looks like. You iron your darts, you iron both, make it smooth. So the next thing we are doing now is to join our zipper right here. So now to fix your zipper, this is my left and this is my right side. So now before you fix your zipper, you measure, you move away, like I moved away by 1/4 of an inch from your zipper before you fix your zipper on both sides. Make sure what you have here is what you have here. So now this is how the zipper is going to look like. So the first thing I'm going to be fixing is the left side. So to fix the left side, you put your zipper this way. So now to fix my left side, this is how it's going to look like. So now I'm going to use my pin to hold that down. When you measure out your zipper allowance, so I measured 1 inch. So now I'm going to be placing this way. So I'll move a little bit higher. So I'm going to be starting my zipper from this part. So I'm going to fix it on my 1 inch zipper allowance. You fix it round. So there are 2 methods I'll be showing you. So this is one method. So by the time you sew it, it's going to look like this. So this is one method. Before then, so I'm going to be stopping my zipper on 23 inches. So I already marked out where I'll stop my zipper. So I'm going to be taking it's from this neck region. I don't know if you can see that. My neck region, I'm going to be starting, then I'm stopping on 23 inches. I'll be stopping on 23 inches. The other method, you can decide to do it one after the other. You can decide to fix this first, then you do the other, or you can decide to join both. As you've done this, pin that down. So what you do, you flip it, you flip this left side to the right side, then you pick this part, then you fix it too. And remember, we are coming up a little bit, so you can fix this also. So you can decide to sew it, hold it down and fix it together. So I use both method, and this depends on my mood. So I can decide to do it one after the other. Make sure I fix this part first, then I'll flip it to the other side. So once I've clipped in my zipper, so this is it, then you're going to close this. But before we do that, so I'm going to show you how to join your zipper to your dress. So this is how it will look like on the right side once you're done. So now I'm going to insert my zipper foot so we can sew this. Okay, so I inserted my zipper foot. So you start sewing from the beginning. So this is how it looks like. Then I'm stopping my zipper at just 1/4 inch. I think this is 1/4 inch. Okay, yes. Then again, you can decide to just open up your zipper if you want to. So you can open up your zipper. Once I get here, I need it to be a little bit free so I can close that up. So I'm just going to do that. So double stitch that several times. Then I'll remove this. So now to fix for the other side. So this is the part where I just did now. So this is how the zipper is going to look like once you're done. So now I'm going to fix for the other parts. I'll remove my zipper foot, fix it to the other side. And so this is the part we are fixing now. So I'm going to start sewing from here. So you move a little bit up. So I already marked where I'm moving my zipper. So I'm starting to sew after this line here. So now to fix the other side, this is how I'm going to fix it. Then again, if you are using a blackhead machine, you don't need to fix in a zipper foot. So if it's going to look this way for a blackhead machine, and your zip, you fix in your zip, probably is this way. I forgot to have that. If your zipper is this way and you need to join it, if it is a blackhead, so I advise you start this way. You fix your zipper this way, then you start sewing in this direction. So bring your zipper up, then make sure you sew this side first. This side, it will be easier. Make sure you start your sewing from here. So this side, you fix it in. You sew this side first. So once you're through with this side, then you can move to the other side. Then you fix it this way and you sew it down. So now I'm going to fix this. And once you're sewing, make sure you are sewing very close to your zipper teeth, okay? You can see where I'm sewing, so don't sew here or here. So very close Yeah, that's where you're doing your sewing. So once you get here, you can bring your zipper down. So I insert my needle, raise it up, so it will be easier for you to finish up and double stitch. So after sewing this is what I have. You can see how beautiful that looks. So this is how my zipper is after sewing. Remember, there is an opening after we finish our zipper. So now I'm going to use my pin to hold this down on both sides. So we have few inches left. So this is where my zipper stops. So after my zipper stops here, so now I'm going to sew this down to the finish line. So I'm going to start sewing. I'll close this up from this point where my zipper stops. So I'm going to take it down all the way here, okay, all the way to this point. So in order to do that, I'll bring out my zipper, then I'll sew this. But before I do that, I'm going to remove my zipper foot and insert back my normal zipper. Okay, so I've done that. So now I'm going to go back to my machine now, then finish this off. Then in order to make this one stay, so you can use your needle to tag this down. So tag this and this. I'll use my needle to do that. I won't use my machine. So the remaining part here, I'm going to sew it down. Okay, I'm going to start from this point here where I stop my zipper, then I'll sew that down. Then remember, you're going to start that on your 1 inch. Okay, still under your 1 inch zipper allowance. So now I'm going to be stopping and double stitching there. And see this part now. Now to move to our down parts. Remember, we took in 1/4 of an inch at this bottom part now. So what I'm going to do now, so you can overlock these raw edges. So you now fold in 3/4 of an inch on this side, so we can close up this place. So I'm going to fold in twice. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. So now I'll go over and sew it. I'll do it for the left and for the right hand side. So now to join this part, I already did the first one. You can see how it is. I did that. So this is how it needs to give it a finish look. So I'm going to just show you how I did the other one now. So you just fold in your 3/4, you fold in twice, then you sew it. So after sewing my down together, so I'm going to sew it from here, then I'll stop here. Yeah, then I'm going to stop around this part here. So we have our vents, so we can see our vents. You can see how neat that is. We're going to join our vents together to have a finished look. After joining it together, this is what I have. So now I'm going to notch this part, so you can relax, but don't move so close to your stitches so you won't open it. So this is how it look like. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to secure my vent in, make it relax. So you need your pin to do that. So you make sure this is together. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to sew from this part here, then I'm going to stop right here. From this point I'll sew it down to the extreme end. The vent is relaxed. Use your pin to hold it down. So once it's well relaxed, so I'm going to go over to the other side and see how it looks first. Make sure it's well relaxed at the back. Okay. So this is what we have. Iron. Make sure it's well relaxed. So we have our pins. You can see that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to join our shoulder. Then lest I forget, my lining. I have my lining. So for my lining, the length is 33 inches. I made my lining shorter than my fabric. Then let me just show you this part. I feel my lining is going to be more visible for the darts. So for your lining, the same way we sew the dress, the main fabric. So I'm going to show you how to run your darts. So what you do is you pick your darts this way. So once you have this, then you use your pin, you hold it down. I already showed you how to do that on the main dress, but I feel the lining is more visible. Then you hold it this way. Okay, so you can see it's not on the same line. So I'm just going to bring that forward a little bit because it has to be the same thing. This is how I do mine though. Okay, now I'm sure it's the same thing. So what I'll do now, I'll just go over to my machine. So I'm going to be sewing it right from this beginning, then I'll bring it this way, then I'll continue. So once you get to this place, you raise your needle up. You raise it up, then you continue. So you double stitch. So you can see that. So what you do, you go over to your iron, you iron it out. Then once you iron, make sure you iron the inside likewise. So this is what you have after sewing. So you use your iron to press. So now I'm going to join my lining and my fabric together. I'll join my dress together first. So I'm going to be joining my shoulder by 1/2 inch. So this is my front, this is my back. So after joining these two together, I'll show you how to join it with lining. My dress is going to have a sleeve. So if it won't have a sleeve, the way I'm going to join it is going to be totally different. But because it has a sleeve, I'm going to be joining from my shoulder. If it doesn't have a sleeve, the first thing you need to do is join your fabric to your dress from your armhole. But because it has a sleeve, so let me just show you how to join your shoulder. So this is how you join it. So you do it for the other side. You join by 1/2 inch. So you do it for the other side too. You do it for the lining, then I'll show you how to join your lining and your fabric together. So I have my dress here. So before I did that, I took my measurements for my dress. You take your hip, your waist, and your bust. So whatever you have, your circumference divide by 2, you take on both sides. So I've done that. So now to join my lining and my fabric together. So what you do is the front of your lining and your dress to face each other. So this is the right side and the right side. So for your to join the fabric together, your right side will face each other. This is the right side of my dress, this is the right side of my lining. So it will be this way, then you hook it down, then I use my pin to hold it. So now I'm going to be sewing from my neck to my zipper. You use your pin to hold it down. till you get to your zipper parts. So I hold it down to the zipper part. This is my zipper part. So I'll be starting with the neck region. Okay. So you can stitch by 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch. So because it's a v-neck, I'll raise my needle, then I'll turn it to the other side. But if it's a round neck, you don't need to do this. So I'll stop here, I'll raise it up, I'll bring it this way, then I'll continue to sew. Then again, before I forget, once you're joining your shoulder together, make sure it aligns, okay? This part and this part of your shoulder, they're on the same line. So the reason why we had to come up from our zipper is because if it's on the same line with your dress, once you're joining this together, it's going to be shorter. So you can see the reason why we came up. So this part that is remaining, we are going to trim it off once we are done sewing. So once you get to the zipper part here, you do it gradually. You move forward a bit from your initial zipper allowance. Let's move. So from this point now, you raise it up this way, then you continue to sew. So let me show you where you're going to sew. So you're going to sew very close to this part, so you can just sew, do your sewing here. This is your initial zipper, so you move just some few inches away, then you continue. So if you're not sure, you can always go back to check from time to time to make sure you're sewing very close to this point. So once you get to this part here, so for your lining, I've actually sewn the remaining parts, so after where my zipper is supposed to stop. So this is where my zipper is supposed to stop. So you sew this down, you close it up. So now this is where my zipper, this is not where it's stopping, sorry. So we're going to stop where my zipper stops. I'll show you that part. So I'm getting closer to my zipper part. So before I get there, once I get to the finish line, so this is where the finish line, this chop part, so I just move it forward a bit, and I'll double stitch. So you repeat the same thing for the other side. So to sew the other side, you bring it this way, then you sew on your zipper, okay, it's there. So once you get here, you start, you raise it up, then you continue. Then this is the part I was telling you about. Your shoulder, the both shoulder, make sure this line, they're on the same line when you are joining together, okay? So you join it back to your neck region. So now I'll show you how to join your vents when your dress is ready. Then I'm going to add a sleeve to my dress. So now to sew in your vents, So what I did initially, I have my 2 inches for allowance, so I folded that in. So this is my 2 inch, I folded 1 inch, then this is the other inch. Then your vents, this is how you're going to fix your vents, because after sewing in you'll be left with this. So once you do that, the next thing you're going to do, because it's going to be hanging, so what you do, you open up your hemming allowance first. So you fold it in. If it's 3 inches you use, you fold in 1.5, 1.5. So mine is 2 inches, you fold that in, so you sew it on this line. So after sewing, your vent, it will be left hanging. So what you do, you take your needle and thread, you tack this place down, because it's going to be hanging. So you take your needle and thread, or you can go to your machine, just stitch these parts on your machine and you hold it down, or you can use your needle and thread, just hold in this place. So you just hold it in. So by the time you're through, this is what you're going to have. Yes, this is how it's going to look like once you're through with your sewing. So I hope that's clear. Then for your neck region, after sewing, make sure you notch. Then this is how your zipper should look like after sewing. You have a finished look. Then for my neck region, you notch it round. Then don't forget to trim off your zipper, that excess that we have, you trim it off. So after doing that, you take your two together, so you notch it this way, you notch it very close. Okay, then you do the same thing for the other side. Then your neck region, you notch it, you notch your neck region. So that concludes the end of your dress. I'll go over to my iron it, then I'll put it on the mannequin. Then my dress is going to have a sleeve, so I'm going to be putting in a petal sleeve, so that will be a separate video for that. Okay, so I'm going to have a separate video for my petal sleeve, and once I have that, my dress is complete. You can see how beautiful it turns out and how neat it is. So that concludes the end of this video. So until I see you in my next one, bye. And I hope you try this too, and I hope it really turns out great, just like mine did. So this is my dress. So this is my front. You can see how beautiful that turns out. So this is the back of my dress. So you can see that. You can see my zipper is well relaxed. You can see how laid that is.